Hello, everybody. We'll see if anybody decides to come along, and then we'll start chatting about what we need to chat about. Obviously, from the title of this live stream, Tommy Robinson is going to be the subject. Worrying, very, very worrying about what's happening to Tommy Robinson at the minute. I made a video earlier this week highlighting that he wasn't doing too well in prison. Two Danish freedom of speech reporters. I think it's actually a Danish. I think it's the Danish version of our free speech union that actually went into. I don't think they've got anything to do with our free speech union. It's just their version of it. They went into Woodhill prison and talked with him, and apparently he's not doing too well. He's lost a lot of weight. He wasn't mentally there, according to the two Danish reporters. I'll leave links to all of this in the underbar below when the live stream's done and people can go and check out for themselves. But I'm disgusted. If anybody is on Twitter or X, as it's called now, you'll see that June Slater posted a pretty lengthy tweet about Tommy Robinson, showing her support for him. The comment section, the thread, is disgusting. The amount of far left nutters that are going into that thread and are just being disgusting, saying that Tommy deserves the conditions that he's in. It's his fault. He pleaded guilty. He's a grifter. All the usual things. Even the Politico guy is in the comment section, slating Tommy, the guy that I talked about on this channel. It's absolutely disgusting. Yeah, you've got some people coming in. I've seen the Danes. Yeah, they did a really good job. And they also did a follow-up video as well, talking about the conditions that he's facing in there. So if people don't know, who are on Twitter, on X, or haven't seen the admin updates about what's happening to Tommy, apparently because Tommy was on a phone call with a family member, it was on speakerphone, and his son spoke to Tommy, the Woodhill prison is punishing him for that by banning him from buying food for a whole week. Now, if you don't know, Tommy's basically surviving on tin tuna, tin sardines, and bags of crisps because he can't eat the food that the prison serves him because it's the inmates that prepare the food. And the majority of people that are in that prison are Islamists. And he's worried about getting contaminated food. And if you don't know what I mean by contaminated food, I mean these animals will put their own shit in his food to contaminate it. So he's not going to eat any food. They could put other things in there quite easily, rat poison, bleach, anything. And obviously that's not good. So he can't trust the food that the prison actually gives him. And that's why he's buying his own food. He can only do limited things, obviously, because he's in prison and that sort of thing. So he's lost a lot of weight. If you saw him the last time that he came out of prison, he lost a hell of a lot of weight the last time too. But I think this time it's getting to like dangerous proportions. If somebody is already on a reduced diet, the last thing you want to do in a prison is further reduce his options. That the prison warden should be able to guarantee that his food is safe, in my opinion, and that they won't do that because obviously they've got a bias against Tommy Robinson. This is coming. I've got a sneaking suspicion that this is coming from the very top. This persecution of Tommy Robinson, and it's disgusting. I'll leave a link also to I think he's a Dane. I think he also works with the Danish Free Speech Union. He's actually a lawyer, and he actually broke down the Tommy Robinson case, and it was very, very eye-opening. He was basically saying that Tommy shouldn't even be in prison in the first place because the two judges that looked at the libel case didn't take in consideration that Tommy Robinson was actually a journalist. Now, we all know in this country that they get around doing these certain things to Tommy Robinson because they say he isn't a journalist. Well, that doesn't matter. You don't need a press card to prove you're a journalist. If you're producing documentaries and journalistic material, then you're a journalist. It's that simple. And the judges can't ignore that. and he was bringing up the European Court of Human Rights. I know we all want to leave it, but you know what? You know, now looking at it, I know we get a lot of crap from that court about illegal immigrants and that sort of thing. But when you see Tommy Robinson's case, you kind of start to see the importance of it, that they're there to make sure governments don't go tyrannical and just impose their will on the people. There's always an outside source to go to if you think you're being persecuted by your own government. I know not a lot of people probably won't agree with that, and it needs to be kept in check, the European Court of Human Rights, and maybe that needs to be reformed, our relationship with it, but still keep it in a certain way. But this would all be solved. All this would be solved if we had a written constitution like the United States, where we enshrined free speech and freedom of expression in law, in a written constitution that cannot be touched. That it's you know, it's the golden cow. It cannot be touched. But you know, we don't have that. So let's have a look at some of the comments. The authorities are committing criminal offence, but what can we do? Well, a lot of people have talked about doing a protest outside the prison. I think that's a really bad idea at this time, because this is what the state wants. This is what the Starmer regime wants. All they want is an excuse to clamp down on people further, and they'll use that as an excuse. I think even if it's peaceful, they'll clamp down on the people that go and protest there. Things will turn violent, and any violence will just play into the hands of the Starmer regime at this point. It really will. So I think that's a bad idea. I think the only thing that we can do at the minute is keep petitioning politicians. I know myself, you know, I think it's pointless. I think petitioning politicians is worthless, but maybe the pressure will finally do something. I've heard that Rupert Lowe is going to speak up on Tommy Robinson's defence. And for all those Reform people out there, right, who say that the Reform Party can't touch Tommy Robinson because he's too toxic, that's irrelevant in this situation. This isn't about whether you agree with Tommy Robinson's politics or not. This is about a human being in prison being treated inhumanely by, I suppose, first world country. He's been put in solitary confinement for a civil offence. And for all those saying, well, he made a choice, that this is what I saw in the June Slater's comment section. He made a choice. He went into solitary confinement. Well, given the options of being in general population with large amounts of criminal Muslim gangs who basically want to kill you for the things that you say because they don't agree with you, I think given that choice, you would choose solitary confinement rather than being put in general population and probably end up getting stabbed or worse, ending your life. So in that regard, it's not really a choice. He didn't have a choice. His only choice was to go into solitary confinement, wasn't it? I've heard this come up as well, because this really annoys me. This was another thing that came up in the June Slater comment section, the lefties. They don't do their research, do they? They were basically saying that Tommy Robinson raised thousands of pounds in money for his legal defence, and then he pled not guilty. Well, that wasn't for that case. He was always going to plead guilty in that case. He said he was going to do. He raised that money for the concurrent case, which was for the terrorism charge, where they charged him with terrorism because he didn't hand over his PIN number for his phone. That's what that money is for. That's for that defence. These people just don't do their research or deliberately mislead people. I've heard a lot of people parroting that misinformation around. Let's have a look at a few more of the comments. If it was anyone else, it will be on every news channel. Exactly. But it's not, is it? Even GB News. And has anybody seen my video from last week about Charlie Peters and the way that he's trying to write Tommy Robinson out of history as well regarding his journalism? He was in an interview with Trigonometry, and pardon my French, but he was a proper smug bastard in that interview. It made me feel sick the way he was talking about Tommy Robinson. He just dismissed it. He says he's not a journalist, he's an activist. Who the hell is he? He's to say anything. You know, the pimple-faced prat. You know, he looks like he's just out of diapers, that guy. Fresh out of university, not a clue, no world experience or anything like that. The only experience he's got is he's got a journalism degree. Whoopie fucking do. And I'm swearing, but I'm angry. And then he goes on and he's so smug and smarmy in that interview. He hasn't got any charisma. He hasn't got half the charisma that Tommy Robinson has, or anything like that. He's not a patch on Tommy Robinson. That guy. Go and watch the video. It's on my channel. Good evening. I love to watch this from the start. Hope everyone is doing well. Yes. We haven't been on that long, so you've not missed much, Cockmeister. Don't worry about that. We're talking about Tommy Robinson at the minute and the way that Woodhill prison is starving him at the moment, denying him food. They don't care about his human rights. They're not bothered about his human rights. That's obvious. If they cared about his human rights, he wouldn't be in the situation he's in now. And, you know, let's not forget, let's just keep reiterating this, right? He's in prison for a civil offence. And if you look at the standard, what they usually give people for a civil contempt of court, it's usually a month in an open prison, a tag, or a hefty fine. That's usually it. They seem to have given him the prison sentence that people would get if they committed criminal contempt of court, which of course he hasn't done. They gave Tommy Robinson 18 months imprisonment, which is just off the scale for this kind of offence. Usually when journalists commit civil contempt of court or defamation, they're just given a slap on the wrist to say, don't do it again. This is just purely persecution against Tommy Robinson. I think we all know that, don't we? Yeah, the English don't have human rights. You're right there. It's a two-tier justice system again. If you were a terrorist and your son is dependent on chicken nuggets, you get to stay in the country. If you're a journalist like Tommy Robinson and you reveal the truth about how corrupt our judiciary is, then you get 18 months in prison. That's how batshit crazy we are now. Let's look at Cottmeister. Not to play devil's advocate, but are they starving him? Disgusting if they are. Or is he once again playing it safe and refusing to eat food prepared by other prisoners? So because you were late to the stream, Cottmeister, right, what they've actually done is he was on a phone call with a family member, and because his son came on the phone to him and he spoke to his son, they punished him by banning him from buying food for a week. When you're in prison, in a UK prison, you have the ability to buy food as well as what they already give you. It's kind of like a tuck shop type of thing. You can go and you get so much money and you can go and buy certain foods. Most prisoners supplement their diet by getting extra food and stuff. But because Tommy Robinson is in solitary confinement and he's spoken out against the Islamists, he can't have prison food because they will contaminate it. So now he's been reduced for a week from buying any food in, which would be his only diet. So that's what they've done to him. And yes, it's all unbelievable. Anyway, with him being locked up for a civil matter, exactly. Most people would have been out by now. They would, if they'd have got a hefty sentence, that they would have probably got 3 months in prison, and then they would have probably served a month of that, and then got out and been on license for a further 2 months on a tag or something like that. But Tommy Robinson doesn't get that. He gets 18 months in prison in a maximum security jail, Woodhill, which last time he was in there when he went in general population, he was attacked. He got his front teeth knocked out in there. So you can understand why he doesn't particularly want to go into general population, because they will probably kill him. And I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they realise they can't put him in general population, because if they put him in there, people will know that the state it's state sanctioned murder if they do that. So what they're trying to do now is they're trying to force him to do it himself by breaking him down mentally and denying him food, denying him contact with his friends, his family, by denying him phone calls. Don't forget, usually, right, if you're a civil offender for contempt of court, you would probably be allowed. I think you're allowed 5 days home every month, and you're allowed to go and work if you're in an open prison, which he should be for this offence. Now, obviously, they're not going to let him be out. They don't want him out. They want this to be a punishment for Tommy Robinson. The only way they can ever punish him is by getting him through contempt of court. That's the only way they do it. He's never been tried by a jury ever. And I think if he was, he will be acquitted every single time. And they know that. So what they do is they do him for a contempt of court. They get him in front of a activist judge who just throws the book at him, and they stick him in jail for a lengthy prison sentence, hoping to break him down. That's what they do it for. Everybody knows this. It's obvious to people now, I think. So they've stopped him from buying food as a punishment just by talking to his son on the phone. Why? What's the crime in talking to a loved one? It's a punishment. They are trying to break him down. And because he broke the rules, because he spoke to his son, they're punishing him for that, which is a blatant violation of his human rights. But like people have been saying in the comments, human rights in this situation have gone completely out of the window. They blocked his 15-year-old son mobile phone number and now have banned his ex-wife from seeing him. Exactly. Why are they doing this? Now, in what reality do people visiting Tony Robinson have to sign a non-disclosure agreement? Doesn't make any sense, does it? To me, that's to stop people talking about the conditions they're keeping him in. See the Muslim rioter get 2 years suspended? What effing rage? Exactly. I think I brought this up the other day about two-tier justice. It's a video on my channel. Go and watch it. I think it's the one with the thumbnail where it says we're in a civil cold war, because we are. Our own government is at war with us. No doubts about that now. Our own government is at war with the people of this country, and people need to wake up to that fact. Yeah, I saw it, and it was disgusting. And yet we had a young woman who was just live streaming the riot as she went past. She wasn't even taking part in the riot, and she made a comment about I don't know what it was, some people kicking off, and they stuck her in prison for 3 months. Yet, if you're actually at a riot picking up bricks to throw at people, then you get a 2-year suspended sentence. It's crazy. This country is insane. Shame we can't get JD Vance on his case. That speech he made ripping Europe and UK about having no common sense after the other night was superb. If Tommy was doing this in America, he wouldn't be locked up. You know what? And I know he won't do it. But I think after this, I think Tommy seriously has to consider leaving the country and going for US citizenship, something like that. Because if he stays in this country and carries on what he's doing, they're going to kill him. They are. They'll find a way of doing it. They're going to kill him. And for his own safety and for his family's safety, I think they all need to move out of the country. There's no shame in it. He has to think of it like when the leaders of countries fled their countries when the Nazis invaded, because we're under occupation here at the minute. We're under occupation from communists, and they're going to go after him all the time now with everything they've got. They won't allow him to speak out. He needs to build up a base outside of the country where he can flee to. He can come to this country, he can make his speeches, he can do the United Kingdom rallies and that kind of thing. But I really think for his own safety now, after he gets out of prison, he needs to leave the UK for a bit and, think about his safety. I think they will stop his kids from seeing him and will say they have to be accompanied by an adult. And his ex-wife usually takes them. Yeah. They're going to throw everything they can at him. I'll be honest with you. I think they're going to make him serve the full 9 months. He'll serve the full 9 months in prison. He won't get any time off for good behaviour or anything like that. They will just keep him in there for 9 months. And then when he comes out, he'll be on license again. They'll put unbelievable restrictions on him that he can't go to rallies. He can't make documentaries. You can see what's going to happen. They're going to stop him from what he's doing. All those people, I've said this at the beginning of the stream, go and look at June Slater's comment thread about Tommy Robinson on Twitter, on Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it, and go and see the disgusting comments in that thread from lefties. It's unbelievable. And they're supposed to be the progressives. They're supposed to be superior to all of us who are the supposed far right. They're not at all. They're disgusting human beings. Slightly off topic question here. Does anyone agree with me that in thinking that Ben Habib should join UKIP? I don't. You know what, Ben Habib? The last thing we need is, I think he's going down this route. The last thing we need is another podcaster. We don't need any more podcasters. Look at them all on YouTube. Everybody's talking about how bad the country is, but nobody's really doing anything about it, are they? Talk is cheap, unfortunately. He's up in March for that terrorism offence for not handing his PIN over. You know what? I think we all know what they're going to do. They're going to add time to his sentence, aren't they? They're going to charge him with that, and they're going to find him guilty, aren't they? Unless he can get a really good legal team. And hopefully this is where Elon Musk's team is going to step in and help him out. Now, Tommy's admin team, if you go and have a look at his admin team on X/Twitter, they're saying there's lots of things happening in behind the scenes at the minute. Obviously, they can't disclose anything that's happening for legal reasons, but they say there's a lot happening in this behind the scenes. Right, I'm going to try and find that Danish guy so you can all go and watch it. I was watching it earlier on Twitter. He was breaking down Tommy Robinson's case and basically just saying that he should never have been put in prison or found guilty of defamation in the first place because there was certain criteria that both judges didn't take into consideration, which again is obvious because they're activist judges, aren't they? Find it. I always forget to bookmark stuff that I do. It's going to make it a lot easier to find. I think I actually retweeted it earlier, so I should be able to get it pretty easy. I think it's at the top of my feed. But yeah, you need to go and watch this guy because he's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I've got it here. I'll try and get a link for it. Just wait for it to load up. He's brilliant. I've got to get a new computer as well because I've got an old Acer laptop, so its performance is shocking. Old laptop, my dream computer, so I can do better live streams. I can show them make videos, especially the long form ones. Right, here we go. Yeah, I'm breaking up because I've actually put Twitter on. That's how shitty this computer is. If I open more than one window or one tab, it just goes crap. Right, I'll put it in the chat. Yeah, this is him. Go and check out this video from this guy. Is that better now? Go and check out that guy. He breaks down Tommy Robinson's case. Yeah, it's my old it's this old laptop. If I have multiple tabs open, everything just slows down to a crawl, and the internet just doesn't like it at all. I mean, it's heating up at the minute. It's red hot, my laptop at the minute. I've got it on one of those cooling trays, but it doesn't really do much. But I digress. Yeah, go and check out that that link. I'll leave the link in the underbar to the video as well, so you can go and take a look at it. But yeah, he breaks down Tommy Robinson's case. So I mentioned this at the beginning of the video. There's a guy called Politico. I believe at one time he was a Tommy Robinson supporter, but for some reason, I don't know what happened, he turned on Tommy, and now he's calling him a grifter, a charlatan. He's saying that he's deceiving all of his followers and all this kind of stuff. And he was in the June Slater thread, shilling out his videos, calling Tommy Robinson a shill and a grifter and all this kind of crap. June Slater's lot are all for hard groupies, so they may not even be leftards. Yeah, I'd look at some of the profiles of the people that were commenting on there, and a lot of them are leftards. A lot of them are. They were basically saying that he deserved the conditions he was in because he defamed that poor refugee schoolboy. So you know when they say stuff like that they're lefties. They just haven't listened to what he said. So going back to that Danish guy, that Danish lawyer, that the link I've just posted in the chat. So from what he was saying that they didn't take in consideration if Tommy Robinson was acting in good faith when he said the things he said about Jamal. Now, he said that they should have taken into consideration the covert footage that he took during the documentary, because that proves that he was acting in good faith. He received information from other people, legitimate other people. These were teachers. These were people that knew Jamal at the school. People admitted that they'd been silenced by being given money. So Tommy Robinson was acting in good faith when he repeated what he had been told as a journalist. But the judges didn't take that into consideration because they didn't look at that evidence in court. They dismissed it. And he was basically saying, the Danish lawyer was saying, why? Because apparently, I think am I freezing again? That's it. Is it slowing down? Am I breaking up in the sound breaking up? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I subscribe to Politico. Can't say I've watched much of his stuff recently, though. Yeah, for some reason, he turned against Tommy Robinson. And I caught him out in quite a few lies and misinformation that he pumped out in his videos when he was talking about the evidence regarding Tommy Robinson's case. So, yeah, go check them out. They're on my channel. Go check them out. I think what it is, people just don't get notified of my videos. I think that's the case. I made the mistake of coming back to this channel. I really should have started a new one, because this one, the reason I abandoned this one in the first place, this Vindicator Strikes Back channel, is because it was shadow banned. It's been quarantined. You know, like what they did with Tommy Robinson, where they just totally quarantined the channel. My channel doesn't even turn up in the search. I've tried it myself. I've searched for it online. It doesn't pop up. The only thing that pops up is one video about when I went to the Stand Up to Racism protest about George Floyd, and I counter-protested them. That's the only one that shows up. There's no link. There's no channel icon that pops up or anything like that. So I think I've definitely been shadow banned on the Vindicator channel. I've noticed I don't hardly get any traffic to my videos. I know some of them aren't very good, some are poor quality with the video and that sort of thing, but some of them are quite good. And it's like I ask people, I say, "Have you been notified?" And they say, "No, we didn't even know your videos had come out." So I think that's what's happening. Unfortunately, I may have to at one point make another channel and see if the videos there get better views. But I know from experience that if you talk about Tommy Robinson, then your videos get throttled back because you mention his name in the video. And that's another thing I want to cover as well, because that's really annoying me at the minute. All these, I know it's not his fault. Andre Walker, some of his videos at the minute, when I'm listening to him, it's like I have to have a code book because he's saying, because M did this and V did that. And he's self-censoring himself because YouTube will demonetize his videos. And to me, if you're going to do that, don't be on the platform. Find another platform that is for free speech. I mean, hopefully, Elon Musk, I mean, he's talked about it. He's talked about starting up a video sharing platform that's attached to X. And I would be all up for that if he did that. Let's have a look. Keep this channel just to link people to new video content on the other platforms. Just a suggestion. Yeah, I think that's what I might do. I mean, I have got a Rumble channel. Not a lot of people go to that one. I would upload more if people will subscribe there. It's going around on the banner now. Rumble Vindicator Vengeance. That's the name of my channel over there. And on Twitter/X, it's Dark Knight DA, all capital letters. Dark Knight DA. Go follow me on Twitter, because on Twitter I get more views on Twitter than anything than I do on YouTube. That's why I left YouTube as well. Unfortunately, before Elon took it over, I'd got nearly 2,000 followers on Twitter. I was really building it up over there, and some lefty came and struck down my channel, so it went. So I'm building that back up at the minute. So if you're not following me on Twitter X, check out the banner going at the bottom and go follow me on Twitter, because I do post a lot of stuff over there, and I do get in some debates with lefties from time to time. So I think I've said all I've got to say about Tommy Robinson. I don't want to go on too long because people have got short attention spans. They don't watch it. So thanks for watching, everybody. And let's hope Tommy Robinson gets some solutions soon. Go check out. I'll post it in the chat again before I go, so people can go and check it out. Go and check out this guy. I posted it now. Go and check out this guy. The link's in the chat. Go and check him out. He's put out a video on X breaking down Tommy Robinson's case and why he thinks that Tommy Robinson shouldn't even be in prison. He should never have been charged with defamation. He should never have. Those cases should never have actually. He should never have been found guilty for that. So go and check him out. What's this? Before I go, let's check out the comments. Walker was trying to say Cabana may get released or some bollocks of the night. That's never going to happen. What they were saying was that the judge is refusing to further increase his sentence, so he's not going to get out. If they released him early, there would be absolute uproar, wouldn't there? Absolute uproar. That would collapse the government, no matter what they're doing. That if they released him early. So no, what they're actually talking about, the judge refused to increase Axel Rubik's Cube's prison sentence. So 52 years. What is he now? Is he 17 or 18? So 52 years. He's gonna be 70 odd. And to be honest with you, he's gonna die in prison, isn't he? He's gonna die in prison of old age. I only wish that we still had hard labor for people like him, because he shouldn't live in a life of luxury in prison. He should be made to suffer every second of every minute of every day of every year that he's in prison for that crime, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people wanted the death sentence for him, but I don't think, no, he should be made to suffer. He should suffer for the rest of his life. That's my feelings on that anyway. Absolute scumbag. Right, guys. Anybody else got any comments before I go? I'm going to call it a night on this one. Go and check out my videos that I've released today. Go and give them some love. Give them a thumbs up. Give them a comment. Same one in prison. May get to him. A lot of people have said that. A lot of people have said that. Obviously, I can't condone that action, but a lot of people have said it. I can't believe those two Muslim brothers that had the fight with the police and broke that policeman's nose at Manchester Airport pleaded not guilty. They'll get off. They'll get off with that. They'll get suspended sentences, just like the rest, and they'll get off. It's to maintain community cohesion. In other words, whenever they say that, whenever you hear that, whenever you hear the police say that, whenever you see a politician say that, when they talk about community coherence, they mean we don't want the Muslim Islamists to riot. That's what they mean by that. It's all on video. Surely the evidence is right there. They don't care. I've had, as a security officer, I've had hours of footage of shoplifters, and I've always complied with the police. I've given the footage that they need. I've given the footage, and they've said it's insufficient evidence, even though you can see them on camera blatantly taking the items. They just discard it. They just, not bothered, not interested. That's the state of the country now, unfortunately. Hey Enoch, how you doing, buddy? Just about to wrap up, mate. You just caught the back end of it. So to sum up before I go, for Enoch's benefit and other people that may be watching, Tommy Robinson has been denied buying extra food whilst he's in solitary confinement. And as most people are probably aware, the only food that he has is the food that he buys from what they would call a tuck shop kind of thing. It's basically prisoners use this ability to supplement their diet. So if the food's not very good in prison, they can always buy food to make the food a bit more edible. So because Tommy Robinson is basically in there for talking about Islamists and that kind of thing, they don't particularly like him. So what they do is they contaminate his food. If they find out it's a Tommy, they'll contaminate his food. By contaminate it, I mean put their own shit in his food so he can't eat it, or do worse. They could put rat poison, they could put bleach, soap, anything in his food, and he wouldn't be able to eat it. So, yeah, they've denied it. They've done this on the basis that he was talking to a family member on the phone, which is his right to do. He can talk to family members. And apparently, because the phone was on speakerphone, his son came on the phone and spoke to him. So they've punished him for speaking to his son by banning him from buying extra food from this shop, which is his only source of food. He's only living on cans of tin tuna and crisps. And that's not a healthy diet. Apparently, his mental health has gone down. He's lost a hell of a lot of weight, and he's not doing too well at the moment. So that's the status of Tommy Robinson at the minute. It's not looking good. All I will say is, and this is not to incite violence or anything like that, this is just to make an observation, that should anything happen to Tommy Robinson in prison, whether he takes his own life or somebody else takes his life, then I would say that all bets are off. And the riots from last summer will look like a tea party if that happens. And that's just an observation. That's not me calling for any kind of violence or anything like that. That's just me making an observation. And I think it's a fairly logical and accurate observation as well. Sounds like last time he was in, eating a can of tuna a day. Yeah, but he's obviously on limited rations now because they've reduced what he can buy. he can't buy food for a whole week. So whatever food he's got in his cell is the only food he can eat because he can't eat the food that they bring to him. How much longer should he be inside for? He's got another 9 months. And then I think they'll make him do the full term. I honestly think they'll make him do 18 months in prison. I think they'll do it to him. I don't think he'll get any time off for good behaviour. I think that the top echelons of our government are stepping in here and overriding what the judge has said. And I think he's in court as well soon for the supposed trumped-up charge, kangaroo court, terrorism charge, because he wouldn't hand over his PIN number to his phone because he had journalistic sources on there, mainly victims of the grooming gangs. And he didn't want the police to get their hands on that because in the past they've leaked that information to the public and put those people's lives in danger. So once again, it's the state attacking Tommy for doing the right thing. And it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. It's 22:11 and I'm going to try and get some sleep and stuff like that. So thanks for watching, everybody. Everybody that's watched, for your comments and stuff like that. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you've liked what I've said here. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. This is Vindicator. Sign off. Good night. Hang on a minute. Just as I'm about to go, another comment comes through. It's dreadful. It's a civil offence, not a criminal offence. Awful way to treat a human being. Exactly. And on that note, I think that's the perfect way to end this stream. I'm going to call it a night, guys. See you all soon.